it's interesting. When I was a kid, I watched the original series on TV, and I loved it. So I had the Enterprise set, and I had, all of the action figures, and I still have them. They're well played with. It's one of those things that was a huge inspiration for everything I am now doing in all these other areas. So it's almost like this gift that has been handing to me to be able to kind of revisit my childhood and express through the film my feelings about Star Trek.
All right, let's do it.
Star Trek, 11M51, take 225.
Okay, here we go.
The one thing we knew from day one was we wanted to retain Alexander Courage's original theme in some fashion. And the question was, how are we going to retain it? Because I think if you strip away everything from Star Trek, the one thing you would have left at the end is that melody.
Yeah, huh? Trekkies, speak up.
But it was also something that needed a lot of kind of figuring out as far as where would be the ideal place for it. It didn't seem to work in the middle of the movie because the film is about the genesis of the crew on the Enterprise, how they came to be together, and that doesn't happen till the end of the film. So anytime we tried to put that theme before that moment, it just felt wrong because it wasn't earned. It needed to be something you earned. And then, of course, at the very end of the film, once we see them all on the bridge together, and the end credits begin, and we hear Spock say,
"Space, the final frontier."
There it is, right there. You've made everyone wait, and it feels like something that has been earned, and they hopefully will feel really good about hearing it. We always talked about that the music should have an energy to it that is just relentless and not be so much about the grandeur of what they're doing, but be about how difficult it is what they're about to do. It's the equivalent of being in the military and going out on these missions, so to treat that with this kind of reverence and grandeur seemed to be completely the wrong idea.
Here we go. 3 to 12. 1, 2, 3.
Kirk and the Enterprise kind of share the same melody and because they are eventually going to be one and the same. But within that theme are these very energetic kind of bump, 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 bump. To just kind of signify that these guys are moving. There's this energy that needs to keep going through it all in order for them to survive. And out of that is just the idea that it's, their friendship drives this energy. One of the other things that I really wanted to do was give something for Spock that felt different from everyone else's. I went and I looked at a lot of different instruments, and I kind of settled on this instrument called an erhu, which is essentially a Chinese violin, and it has this beautiful, almost vocal quality to it, but it always sounds somewhat sad. And I liked that about his character, where he's very logical, and yet he's never quite sure which world he's from,
That's beautiful.
Cool.
They're amazing. Thank you so much.
JJ is very musical, and there is always a great rhythm built into the editing, into the film. I never have a problem writing music to JJ's movies because they're very rhythmic. And just by watching the scene, I can easily find what the rhythm is. And we have very similar tastes in many respects as far as what film scores we loved growing up, what movies we loved growing up. It was one of those things that when we met, it really felt like I was meeting someone that I've known forever.
I'm sure you're saying interesting stuff.
I was talking about this
I have
guy.
to leave.
Oh, you're leaving? No, don't leave. We're just asking about musically. When you're writing, do you think musically when you're coming up with things? How do you picture things in your head?
I usually write to music on Star Trek, which I did not write. I think, Alex and Bob, if I listen to scores, whether it's, say yours or other composers, I mean, they probably wouldn't listen to other composers. Why would they?
Why, yes.
Why do that? But
I was just saying that we generally have very similar tastes in how things should be approached and how things,
we do, but the truth is that it's easy to have a sense of what something should be, and then what Michael does is actually realizes it. So it's easy to say it should be great. It's hard to actually make something that's great. So it's like writing for a great actor, where it's like, you write a moment, and they're going to make it something that's incredibly unique and special. So that's sort of what it's like with Michael, who I'm now saying goodbye to because I have to leave.
All right. I want to talk to you soon.
Sorry to interrupt your interview.
That's all right.